happy Wednesday. So I'm Valerie. I'm going to start coming on live on Wednesdays to answer your questions about anything running related, preferably about running pain-free, since that's what we're all about. So if you're just coming on, thank you. Hi. And so for years and years, I've been teaching running, like 25 years of teaching running. And still the number one question I get, so that's what we're going to talk about today, is what shoes should I wear, right? It's so important. And there's hugely important, and absolutely, and I'm going to talk about shoes today, and that seems to always be the number one question. And by the way, when I first started running, I was the same way, because I came into running from the gym outside. So I was an aerobics teacher, personal trainer, and I started running, and everyone's like, oh, you got to go get running shoes. So I did. I went and got running shoes, and I had a hamstring injury at the time from running. And so I went to the running shoe store, and the guy was like, oh, you need new running shoes. Whatever I was wearing, who knows? This was 30 years ago. And so I bought new shoes, and I was so excited, and they felt so good. So I went out for my run, and guess what? I still had that same nagging hamstring injury. So I went back, and I was like, hey, I got the new shoes, and I went out running. So he was like, oh, well, let me watch you run. So I was like, oh, fabulous. Someone's gonna watch me run. And he watched me and he said, oh, I see, you pronate. So I was like, oh no, what do I do? And he's like, you gotta buy these other shoes. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't wanna buy more shoes. How about I fix the pronation? And it's a long conversation, but what happens is, if someone keeps telling me to change my shoes, and I'm not changing my movement, and I keep going back and doing the same movement, well, at some point, like, no shoe's gonna help me anymore, right? So like, I wanna buy shoes because I need new shoes, or I wanna get a new color, or maybe I want a trail shoe instead of a road shoe. Like, that would be why I would like to buy shoes, way more than, oh my gosh, I have a pain, and I'm gonna use the shoe to fix it. And so the first thing I'll say is, here's the shoes that I wear. So I've got a library here of shoes. So this is a New Balance Trail Minimalist that I've been wearing for 10 years. And the reason I wear these is a couple of reasons. One is there's no insole. It just comes as is, but it's so comfortable that you don't need socks, or I don't need socks. Also, the bottom is a Vibram sole. So these shoes are well over a year old, and I'll just kind of put it out there that they're still fine. There's nothing wrong with them. So, and you always want to be able to take your shoe, and you should be able to roll it up. It should be flexible, because I want a floppy ankle when I run, so I also want a flexible shoe. Now, that being said, just because I wear it doesn't mean that's what I want you to wear. So keep that in mind. I really highly encourage people to start where they are, and then we can progress you into a more minimalist shoe as you get stronger, as you recover from your injury, as you learn how to move better. Then let's talk shoes, right? What about stability? My doctor says I have weak ankles. That's a great question. So I brought this shoe. So someone gave this to me. I got a fly, sorry. Someone gave this to my husband, for example. He has flat feet and plantar fasciitis. Not anymore, but he did. So immediately they were like, oh my gosh, you need to have this stability, this support, because you've got flat feet. So therefore you need help, like it's a problem. So look, this shoe doesn't, I can bend the toe, but look how stiff the rest of the shoe is. So unfortunately, if my foot cannot move as it's meant to, if I have a shoe that's trying to limit my movement, then the issue becomes even a bigger problem, because every time you take the shoe off, now the foot is stiff. So then I've got to actually do more work to help relax the foot, get mobility and range of motion back in. There's no such thing, by the way, as a weak ankle. There's just no such thing. There's limited range of motion, and I need to increase the strength in my foot, my hip, my ankle, my whole body. But please don't think of things as like weaknesses, or I'm not a weak foot, I'm not a tight hip, but I might have some of these things that I need to work on. So the motion control shoe might feel good while you're wearing it, but it cannot teach you how to move or how to improve your movement. I'll give you just a couple of more. I have the other, conversely, or the other way is people say to me, oh look, I bought this totally minimalist shoe. There's nothing to it. Like, this is way flatter than the shoe that I wear, and I'm minimalist. I mean, I go barefoot even. So people are like, Valerie, look, I bought this minimalist shoe, and now my feet really hurt. Because the problem is we do need some support. Everyone's different, and we all need to have a different relationship. I need to be able to sense the ground, but I need to be able to have enough support to be able to use my muscle elasticity and all of that good stuff. So the main thing with a shoe is that I want to be able for the shoe to be flexible, and I can have some minimal support. Like this shoe is another New Balance shoe that has what I call minimal support. So yeah, there's some support. However, it's not just this thick extra cushion, because the foot can only get stronger on a stable support. However, the stable support isn't so much always the shoe. So be very careful. It's okay to have a little bit, but if I have too much cushion in a shoe, I actually just removed all of my stability, because once I have cushion and the foot can't stabilize inside of the shoe, then when I'm running, it's going to happen the same thing. I'm going to be on the ground and my foot is not going to know what to do. And this is the issue, is that when you're on the ground, you simply want the shoe to protect you from the ground rather than your running. You want your running to be protecting you from your running. Does that make sense? So if I run correctly, the shoe is just helping me run better. Show the New Balance once again, please. Okay, so I'm assuming you mean this one. So this is the one that I run in. This is a cushion. So the one I run in, guys, and I'll just put it a little closer. You see it has I think it's a 4 to 6 millimeter support. So there is some support in this shoe, absolutely. However, it's a minimal support, but it's a very strong, resilient support. These are actually made for trail running. So they have these little like knobbies on the bottom. So some people don't like that for road running. I don't mind it. So I wear them for both. So I love this shoe. And so I wear it. However, please know that there's a lot of shoe companies out there that make all kinds of great shoes. I just make sure that it's a strong support and a strong sole. So like the other shoe I showed you guys is too minimal for a lot of people. So some people can wear this, but I always say if there's absolutely nothing there, be very careful, because that on the other end, just like I don't advocate running barefoot, it really is nice to have a barrier between you and the ground. So you can, again, use your muscle elasticity. You can feel confident in running that I'm just gonna because we're never gonna be looking for the ground. Once you give up the idea that the shoe's gonna fix me, then instead of feeling, what does it feel like when I'm on the ground, you'll have so much more fun feeling I'm pulling off the ground, because I'd like to be off the ground in the air traveling way more than I want to spend time on the ground. So the more we think more about the movement of running, then the shoe is simply for comfort. I mean, the shoe should feel like your foot. You should put the shoe on, feel like I'm just ready to go, right? So that's important. I can still move like my shoe. Sure, thank you. All right, I'm gonna keep this, guys, pretty short. I would love to help you run in your shoes, in any shoe you're wearing. So one of the things I wanna say, as we keep doing these Q&As, and you can even comment or post, how about these? I guarantee you, a lot of us have tried a lot of different minimal shoes. And so what's fun is we have what's called RunRX Strong, the membership. And you can come into the membership. You start by taking a mini clinic. So you go through a learning session with me where you're learning all about what is running. What is she talking about? What is all this? So you go through that. Then you come into the membership, and I have a daily practice. And it's me every day. And you go through, it's 10 to 15 minutes a day, and it takes you through the progression of changing your movement, changing your mindset. Then you can change your shoes. And you can talk to people in the community that are going through the same thing you are. And that is still one of the top conversations. What shoes? Because not everyone will love this shoe, but it's fun to listen to what other people are going through, especially because they're going through that same journey of just running pain-free. And then it's like I said, sure, I want to know what shoes, and sure, maybe even outfits. But as long as you know that the shoe is made for comfort, the shoe is meant to protect you from the elements, But the reality is if you're using the shoe to try to prevent an injury or recover from an injury, then that's unfortunately not going to be the answer, but we are happy to help you get to that other side of running pain-free. So what's really fun is if you do have a running injury, for free, you can go on the site, RunRXQuiz.com. You should take this or get a friend to take it with you. So if I have a pain or injury, it just kind of takes you through maybe what's going on to why you're feeling this pain or injury. And then I give you a little tip on something you can do to try to see the next time you go running if it feels just a little bit different. And once, I'm telling you, this is once you start to feel what is running or the movement of running, you will naturally want to progress to a more minimalist shoe because you'll actually get more into the feeling of what is running instead of using big shoes to try to not feel, because if running hurts, I don't want to feel it either. But once I'm starting to run pain-free and I enjoy the movement of running, guys, it's a real different situation. All right, so I hope to see you take the quiz, runrxquiz.com. I'm going to do this every Wednesday. I would love for you guys to reach out. Just comment. I'd love to talk about this, ask questions, and let's have some great conversation and get y'all running pain-free. Thank you.